for your Talking Basketball Podcast. Are you not going to speak?
No, I was waiting for you.
I was waiting for you. You always speak first.
Well, I always did that bit first, so now you've thrown me completely. Well, welcome to the show. Anyway, if you haven't listened to any of the shows before, we don't normally start like this, but we never start it the same way twice. That's just how we roll.
We did start with me saying that last podcast.
I know, but then we just go off on tangents.
Okay. Wow, welcome back to the BBL, Mark.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for tuning in to the Talking Basketball Podcast. Before we get into the BBL show, I just want to say we crossed over 5,000 people now listening in, and the streams, and
wow.
And it's just awesome. And I just want to say to everyone who has listened and will be listening, and if you hear this retrospectively, this is sort of mid-October in 2023. Thank you so much, because we're really enjoying this and it's great fun. So yeah, keep on listening. We got loads of funny things that we want to do in the future, but stay tuned.
And I really appreciate getting free food, Mark, when I go out.
Yeah, I did notice that you had a smug look on your face when you came in with a rather large KFC there.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to say the name, but I very appreciate the extra chicken and chips and chicken.
A conscientious listener.
Very, very appreciative.
Was showing their appreciation.
Fan.
Wow, if anyone, I don't eat fried chicken, but if anyone else wants to shower me with stuff, then go for it. Maybe don't throw food at me, though. That's not good.
Well, Mark, I know our listeners, and I know they've got two questions on their mind at the start of the show. One, have you reached 1,000 emails yet of who this team is?
I'm not at the 250 yet. As I said, I will disclose at the 250 who I'm supporting so far.
Wow. Is anyone getting close to the 250?
There's a hinting.
Oh, wow.
A trickling, shall we say.
Well, and the second thing I know our listeners want to know from you, Mark, how's Pat Riot's doing?
Pat's doing fantastically.
Yeah. Pat Riot's mascot for the Plymouth Patriots.
Are you saying
he's
the ultimate BBL mascot?
At this moment in time, I believe so.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
From what I've seen.
Congratulations, Pat.
Pat Riot's. Pat the dog, legend.
If we get to the end of the season and he hasn't been surmounted, does he win an award for that? Mascot of the season.
Well, yeah, we can make one up.
I think we're going to do an award show. Drop us a comment on the show if you think we should do an award show.
Or if you think there's someone better than Pat Riot's. Pat Riot's is he is the line.
He's the benchmark.
Where you need to get the benchmark.
Really? Okay.
Right.
Well, another week of BBL, and we have been getting our weeks mixed up because we sort of retrospectively do it. We go into a week, but we've been looking at the week that's been going on. So apologies if we ever get confused with that
Mark,
stuff.
I'm always up to date. And I'm going to go straight in.
Do it.
At number one, the London Lions taking on the Newcastle Eagles.
Nice.
109-104, London Lions win. Still undefeated in the league. This went to overtime.
Yep.
And a couple of, significant events. You had the reintroduction of the reigning BBL MVP, Mark. That stands for Most Valuable Player. And that's Sam Decker. He came back to the Copper Box for his first game. Scored 7 points, back to the game. But the one I want to talk about is Matt Morgan, player of the game.
Yeah.
30 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and I also want to say 5 fouls. But
just slick that in there.
Yeah, and the reason I throw that in there, I mean, like, if you go watch the highlights, Matt Morgan is on fire. And it was a really good game because it in the first half, it was, tied, 2 points, tied all the way. And then it gets to the second half, Eagles at 1 point, I want to say in the fourth quarter, are about 5.5, maybe 6 minutes left. The Eagles were up by 12. And I was thinking, someone's finally about to beat the Lions here, which is, I'm not saying I want to see them lose, but I do a bit for the league because they're just flying away. And I'm almost at a point like, is the season over as far as who's going to get that number one spot? But they're only winning their games by like 3, 4, 5, like some of them. Anyway, so big Matt Morgan steps up. He got 9 3-pointers, Mark, in this game. 9 threes in this game.
Damn, I knew he hit a few.
And he, I think he hit, I want to say 2, maybe 3 after that, really late on in the fourth quarter. And the game went into overtime. And in overtime, the Lions were unstoppable. But this was the strange wording I found. I've only seen the highlights of this game, and they looked exciting, or extended highlights, and it looked good. It looked like a good game. But I picked up this from the website. Matt Morgan, he was absolutely flying this game, but he got fouled out right at the start of overtime. And what I thought was interesting was this. Matt Morgan Lions lost their league score in the open moments of overtime as his earlier disciplinary issues came back to bite him. I thought, am I just reading that? Is that strange wording? Did something happen and they didn't show it? Or was this just, is that a clever way just to say he just got some rubbish fouls?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's basically them saying he was sloppy. He picked up a few sloppy fouls, pick up a quick 2 fouls. Then suddenly you're like, first quarter, you got 2 fouls already and you're like, uh-oh.
What I've not seen in the BBL, really from the highlights and the games I've seen, are these clashes. When you got people competing to win, you have clashes. And I haven't seen anything huge, which made me wonder, I wonder if this was taking out the highlights, but maybe I'm just adding 1 and 1 and getting 7.
Possibly. I mean, I will say Matt Morgan's been thrown around a lot in the socials, and you're seeing a lot of his plays and how well he's been playing this year. And they're making a lot of noise about him.
I think he's, I want to say, 4th all-time scorer opening into a BBL season since 2008 or something like that.
Yeah, they're making a lot of noise about him, and he's clearly having a blinding run. I'd like to see a few more players be lifted up in the same way, rising tide and all that. It's the BBL doing a lot of promo about them, which is great, but they've also got to be careful.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Also want to talk about big man Josh, the Airlines Sharma. Now, I don't know if I've just given him the Airlines. He's 7 foot, Mark. He's American/Briton.
Yep.
And what really stood out for me in this game, he was doing some great picks. I would say potentially some questionable picks that didn't get called. That's just my interpretation. But what I do like is when he does a pick and someone goes smack into it and bam on the floor.
He's an exciting player to watch.
He is a really good player.
He's an exciting player to watch.
If you go back to, who did they play? I want to say Cheshire. His inside play, he was unstoppable. I mean, he was... Boom!
But
dunk.
he's a physical player.
Boom! Dunk.
That's the sort of game that we like watching. That
it
physical
was Cheshire.
game.
Yeah, lots of inside play and dunks from him then.
Yeah.
But he also got fouled out. But he had some great, plays with Matt Morgan in particular as well.
Yeah.
Got to shout out the Eagles, the number 11. Jordan Johnson, he had 24 points, and I loved some of the play he had hooking up with number 2 Josh Ward Hibbert and number 22 Malcolm Delpeche. Now they, in particular, Malcolm Delpeche, there was a great high pick he did a roll. Jordan Johnson bounced back down to him. Malcolm Delpeche flies in the air, boom. I don't know. I want to say that was definitely in the second half, maybe the third quarter. But went to overtime. London Lions, just were more dominant and won the game. And that's that, Mark. That's my number 1. I can roll this really nicely into number 2.
Come on.
Number 2 is the London Lions are now travelling to the Shark Tank, Mark. And the reason I'm highlighting this, because this is Friday, this Friday. That's the 20th of October. That is a 7:30 tip-off. They are live on Sky Sports Arena.
And I saw a few bits floating around on the media that said something about Shark Tank.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I don't know if they've listened to you and they've decided.
I'm sure they have.
Clearly.
I'm sure they have.
Clearly.
And you know what? It's a good name to use, and I'm more than happy for you to take that. So the London Lions are going into Shark Tank. Now, I think this is a bit of a juggernaut, this one, because you cannot see London losing it. I mean, they're 8-0.
Yeah.
They are an absolutely running away juggernaut, even though they're winning by handful of points. But
win's a win.
You've got Sheffield Sharks, Mark, in the Shark Tank, and it is kicking off up there.
It is.
In Yorkshire. And you know what? They have beaten Newcastle in their brand new arena, Cannon Medical Arena. They beat Newcastle by 30.
Yep.
They beat Caledonia by 18.
Yep.
So the big question is this the moment? Going into the Shark Tank,
could be,
where the Lions get their first L.
Do you think they play the Jaws music there?
If they don't, they're crazy. Like, literally, you know.
They have to play that.
Yeah, or like when a big dunk in. Yeah, when a dunk goes in, something like that. But, you know, this, I cannot wait till Friday, and this is one I want to watch because...
That KFC's got you riled up, hasn't it?
Yeah. It was lovely.
It was the popcorn chicken.
Still there. Look, he gave me so much. He gave me so much. I was like, oh, nice. Thanks, mate. Anyway, so Friday looks to be huge.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
And I'm just going to add one last thing.
You are greedy.
If the Lions do go and take the W out of the Shark Tank,
yep,
they, in less than 2 weeks, have to travel again to the Eagle's Nest.
Wow, that's interesting.
And you didn't even flinch when I said the Eagle's Nest. I've made another one up. So Newcastle Eagles, the Eagle's Nest. So they got to go up to the Eagle's Nest and see what happens.
Yeah, given that Newcastle's logo is as it is, I don't like calling it the nest really, because that just sounds like a sniper's nest. But you know,
the Eagle's Nest. There you go, Mark.
Right, I'm having one now.
That's the wrong button.
No, I'm having one.
You did that last time. You pressed
Bristol Flyers. No. Hey, I'm having one. The Bristol Flyers. They won over BC Spartak Pleen in the ENBL. So it's slightly going out of BBL, but it's really important because, and this is why I think it's important anyway. First European game they played, and they got their first European win. How cool is that?
Very good. Very good.
Actually, you're just stuffing your face with KFC just as I caught you on the hop.
I thought you were going to be talking for longer, Mark, than 8 seconds.
No, but 17 point they beat them by. And it was, you know, like Brad Green, he's making some moves down there. He is really, really a force over there. 26 points, 7 rebounds, 5 blocks. He was absolutely monstrous. And what's really interesting is that they closed out some of their quarters with like a 21-20 advantage, and it was a good game. And then they just put their foot on the gas. So it was really, really good game to watch. But I'd say that Andrew Gordon hit a late 3, and that meant the Flyers went into the third quarter with an actual 7-point lead. And I think that was their turning point, because then it just, after that, they didn't sort of really look back, and then they just stretched out. But how good's that they've gone out there from not only just being a BBL team, but it's the first year of the ENBL. They've gone out there. It's their first ever European game. They won it.
That's the way to go.
That's the way. And you go, absolute massive credit to them. So, Bristol Flyers. Awesome.
Why did you stop the clap?
I'm stopping the clap because
they need to win.
I'm going back in.
The whole thing.
No, because I'm not going to be greedy with Bristol Flyers. But my second one, I'm going to roll into it nicely, is Bristol Flyers again.
Before you say it, can I say one thing?
No.
This is just in.
Just in what, Bieber?
This is just in.
This better be good. This better be really good.
London Lions in Europe claim the win, 99-87.
Have they?
Over.
Go on, have a go. Have a go.
Prometi. Silence.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know who that is, but it literally just popped up.
Literally
London
done it.
Lions have won in Europe, as well as the Caledonia Gladiators. And that logo is way too dark. I want to say they're in Serbia. CSU.
Okay.
Sibiu. I don't know. But anyway, Gladiators also claim the W8068. So everyone's playing away. Everyone's got victories.
That's brilliant to hear. That's really, really good to hear.
So sorry for stealing your thunder there, Mark.
But it's just absolute thunder stealer. I was going to say, as I was talking about Bristol Flyers, I'm going to roll it in with their next one, which was a lovely win. And they played against Plymouth City Patriots. And they kicked their butts. 92-68.
And who are we talking about?
Bristol Flyers.
Oh, Bristol Flyers.
So not only did they have their first away win in the ENBL, they then romped Plymouth City Patriots, and it's the second largest win of their campaign this season so far. So that's not too bad, really, if you think about it.
Nice.
Again, Brad Green. He seems to be
you like him?
Yeah, 6'11", big dude, but he's very, very mobile, and he seems to be their key piece. So it's good when you say that they've got a force, but immediately you should go, what happens if someone can? I'm not just thinking injuries. I'm just thinking, what if someone knows how to contain him? What happens with their offense then? Or if someone finds a way to get round them on a defensive side. So it's good when you have a big player like that, but you got to step back and look at it. Green's shooting was great, and at some point they said the Flyers closed the first quarter 14 points ahead. First quarter. I mean, after that, I won't say you're not taking the foot off the gas, but they're just keeping, and they were just stretching it slowly, each sort of quarter thereafter. Bristol dominated, got 27 rebounds against Plymouth 16, and I think that's where you're losing your game, really, if you're losing all of those rebounds. I'm a massive Rodman fan. Look at the points he got on the boards, maybe 4 points a game, but he got almost every rebound in that game. If you haven't got someone like that on your team, it makes a massive difference. So massive shout out to Bristol Flyers. That's a hell of a week for them, having 2 strong wins. And hopefully that will make a big difference when it's going through the season. So over to you.
Wow, there you go. I'm going to go. And I'm going to give a big shout out to us, Mark. Not only are we 11th in the Apple charts, 900th in the world for comedy sport, for something that you said.
I don't know why that is.
But we've been talking about the BBL website in particular on some of the previous podcasts. Mm-hmm. Did you see today a link on the news that said, this is where you go to watch games? And I was like, I'm not saying it's because of us.
I'm 100% saying it's because of us.
It could be.
Well, my question to you is, when you were saying about those things, was where you're watching those games, where are you watching them? Because I don't know of anyone to date that's watched a game through Sky. Everyone's watching it through YouTube or socials. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, and that's why it's really interesting when I saw this thing today, Sky Sports Arena, which I've got. So it's like, okay, cool. I'm tuning in Friday night, 7:30 to watch that game.
But I went on Sky's website earlier. Can't find it.
Well, I've got some more news for you, Mark, on that note.
Really?
I have personally written an extremely long-winded email.
Oh, no. You've been a Karen.
To Sky News, to Sky Sports.
You haven't, have you?
Yeah, I did. Why are you laughing?
Oh, that's brilliant.
Why are you laughing? I've written a long email to Sky Sports, basically asking. Wow, we've lost Mark.
Oh my God, you've turned into an old man.
No, I'm asking them a question. Why is the
NBA's there, but nothing else?
Well, yeah, so you see football, rugby, and you go in and see all the thing, and then it's sports, and then when it comes to the basketball, it says NBA, and I'm like, and I asked the question, why you got the representation of a league in America as the sport when everything else is the actual sport then goes into the league. I even said I can appreciate it's one of the arguably the best leagues in the world. However, they're not world champions. Germany is. I put that in the email.
No.
Yeah, and I said, but that's a debate for another time. And so I wrote the email as I would talk it, and then I just said, why don't you have the BBL represented on there? You know, even if it was something simple like the table, the results, the coming fixtures, even something like that.
Yeah.
I even went further and said, I get with the BBL, it's a league, it's on its own, but with the ENBL, okay, that's the pyramid scheme, the pyramid league structure like that we all used
some
to.
might argue we were right first time, but yeah.
And yeah, so that was my point. Why even the ENBL, you know, to highlight fixtures, you get that off. You know, Basketball England aren't really even doing that because they've got their technical problems. You can't see the leagues. Why aren't Sky Sports website showing the leagues? I went further. I asked them on Sky News, could you have the highlights for the games? Like, even if it was once a day, there was a 10-minute segment where they were showing, you know, Manchester Giants did this, Caledonia Gladiators did this. Next game's coming up on Sky Sports Arena Friday. What we're doing now, even if in like you see in every channel in America, for different sports.
I mean, I think what's interesting as well is, particularly with the BBL, I've tried getting through to them about various media bits, and you don't really get very far. And they want to control a lot of what they're doing. And I get it's a product. They own the product, and they want to control how it's distributed and what it looks like. Totally get that. That makes complete sense. Problem is, it also then immediately narrows that funnel.
Your audience,
And I don't think they're addressing total accessible market, and that they're not really looking at it in that way. They're just going, let's make. I want to say, and I was thinking of this today, Field of Dreams, that's what comes to mind, is that they've got all this brilliant media and their photos, and the way they do stuff is it's absolutely exceptional. Arguably, I'd say sometimes some of their clips and that, the way they do it, are better than the NBA. The way they're putting it out there,
wow,
it's more modern because they don't have that historic legacy, so they've just gone for something really funky and catchy, and I respect that. I think it's really, and it's represents more British basketball than just, oh, we're just copying the NBA. It's doing its own thing, and I really respect that. But the problem that I've got is I think that they're still not getting new people into it. So you go, oh, how many people are actually looking? You go and look at a video, one of the YouTube videos of the games, maybe like 2,000, 3,000 people stream them. It's.
I know what you mean.
Crazy.
When you control the media like that, you know, you're saying they could be.
If you've got a 6,000 seater at the Copper Box, as an example, or 2,500, 3,000 seaters in Manchester and Caledonia and stuff like that, those games as a minimum should be having exactly the same, because if someone's gone and sat at that game, they might want to go watch it back or see something else.
Well, you go to the NBA and you got people like us who've got a podcast show, over 5,000 likes or whatever it is you said, they would be allowing them to interview the players. That is fact. That is absolutely fact. They would be going in, they'd be part of it. I mean, look, they're not going in the bloody dressing room and all that, but they would invite them in.
I don't want to go in a dressing room, if I'm honest. I'm quite happy to stay out of that.
Well, I know what you mean. But I think sometimes when you need to let it grow, don't you?
Yeah, and I think the reason that they're doing it is because they've taken hold of it, they've invested their money, and they want to put it to good use. There is also the fact that, you know, the BBL isn't a massive organisation. It's not the NBA. There's probably like 30, 40 people who work for the BBL in that big environment.
And we are coming to work with you.
Yeah, feel free to hit us up, anyone. But you know, that's really good that you've written an old man letter. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Have you actually sent it yet, or are you going to print that out?
Tell you what, whilst I show you the email, I just want to show you this. I'm going to go back to a point that I didn't mention with the Lions taking on the Eagles at the Copper Box, was just focusing on a little point you made, was the seat capacity.
Yes.
Now, in London in particular, in the Copper Box, They've got this really bright, colourful seating. So each seat is a different colour, like yellow, green. But for me, it really stands out when people aren't sat in those chairs because I just see the colours.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go somewhere like, I want to say maybe the Giants, it's all black. So it doesn't highlight it as much. So that's one of the things when I was watching the extended highlights of the London game was I noticed the crowd capacity of the home crowd. Also, this is London taking in Europe. Let me show you that picture.
Yeah, that's an amazing photo.
But look, if I'm showing them a photo. This is of a London Lions player.
Yeah.
Driving in, but look at the crowd. Look at the seats. Empty.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be a 20,000 seat arena, isn't it? 15,000.
I think they're between 10 and 15. A lot of them. Yeah.
But yeah, so that was just one thing I did notice. Let me get this for you because I know how excited you are. Sent. There you go, Mark. Top email. Let me click on that. It is gone. There is my extended rant.
Oh my lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's legit. He has sent that. Wow.
Someone has to. If no one does it, they're not going to,
Did you have your slippers on as you wrote it or when you sent it?
No, but I wrote that email very good-hearted, and I even was joking and something like that. And it's just like, look, I'm not having a go. I'm just saying this could be better. And this is my opinion. Take it or leave it. Like, you're a huge
it doesn't make sense.
billion-pound company. Maybe it doesn't matter what I say.
If they have gone to the BBL, they will have put some money to the BBL to pay for the rights to do that. That's the whole benefit of the BBL having Sky do it, is to increase viewership, and they would have given them some money. So if they have done that, they've got skin in the game. Why are they not promoting it? Now, the only reason I can think they wouldn't change basketball and still have the NBA on there, and then we'll just put BBL as a separate thing, is purely the NBA have extra money tied up with that.
No, I mean, but it doesn't make sense. I think it could be resource as well, because I actually commented. I said the last post you put about basketball was 2 weeks ago, and it was about Tom Brady taking a stake in a women's NBA team. And there's lots going on, and I was like, you're in, the almost at the end of the first quarter of the BBL season. Like, it is kicking off. There's so much to talk about. Why isn't it? And I asked a question in the email. And I was like, is it because there's a lack of resource and you haven't got the people writing the reports? Because if that is the case, and they come back and say that, I might say, you know what? I've got experience of writing basketball reports. Do you want me to write them up? I mean, you're only talking 5 a week. It's not a problem. Yeah. I mean, even if it was a handful of paragraphs, it's like, it's something is better than nothing. I could even vet it as well, but who knows? Let's see what happens, Mark. Yeah. But that was my thing. I have got another one about the BBL website. And this is another one. And you'll like this. And I don't know if this is a recent change or not, but do you know I said you can't see the last results? Yeah. I have found it. Have you? So, or I don't know if this is... I did this before and I didn't see it. Maybe it wasn't. I missed it before, but maybe it's a change based on what we've said. Who knows? So if you want to see the last 5 matches and the upcoming next 5 fixtures on the BBL website, go to the standings, the actual league standings, the table, and then select the team that you want. Right. I'm doing this. I'm going to do this right now on my phone. I did this on a desktop PC, exactly. Mark. That's why I'm going to see if this works. So you go to the league, and just click on anyone. So firstly, I'll type in BBL, right? Well, you might have to type BBL basketball, or you're going to get. So there we go. We're on that. So go to the standings. So standings. Let's have a look. That's the standings there. Standings. Yeah. Standings. Yeah. Okay. The championship. Championship standings. That's what you want. And when that pops up, click on any team. So click on your favourite team. Oh, he's not showing me. No, I'm not going to show you who that is. He's not showing me. I'm not showing you who that is. No. Okay. What? Yeah. You got to show me this bit though. So scroll down. Yeah. Last 5 matches. Okay. Last 5 matches. Last upcoming matches. 5 matches. And I like that. that makes sense to me because I could look and go, right, you can see the progression of the team, how well they're doing, the current trend of results. You know what? And this is what made me laugh with the stats. So you got the stats underneath the games.
I tell you what, it has done. It's done that thing again, where it's done 22.
It's trying to get you to select the year. Yeah, I think that's a mobile. I think that could be a mobile thing on your rubbish phone. Anyway, right. This is what's funny. So go back to that page where you got the 5 and the 5. So the 5 last results and 5 upcoming fixtures.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now this is what actually made me laugh my head off. If you scroll a little bit further down, you will see the current stats for the team.
Turnovers.
Right,
points.
you said it. The first one is turnovers.
Yeah.
So it's like, right, so who was I playing? So I clicked on the Cheshire Phoenix.
Oh, are you giving something away there?
No, just when I clicked today, and I was scrolling down, and I saw, I'm not sure how to pronounce this correctly, but I'll give it a try, which was Jabril Adekoya, number 99 for the Cheshire Phoenix. Now he's got, he came up with the most turnovers for Cheshire, with 13 turnovers so far. And that just made me laugh my head off because I thought the most important stat you want to see is points scored, which is the very next one, or something like that. And then
why would you have turnovers first?
Assists, rebounds,
that is good.
blocks, steals. But the very first one was turnovers, which made me laugh my head off. Now, what I would say, in fairness to that guy, he's got 13 turnovers so far. That is actually nothing. You're talking about like maybe 1.6 on an average over the games played so far. So when I say it like that, you go, oh, okay, that's actually nothing. But 13 sounds a big number when you see it. But it did make me laugh.
That does sound like a big. That does sound like.
And
I
feel like I'm being harsh on him because I mentioned his name. So I'm going to say in his last game he did get 13 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists.
Well, that's nice, but
maybe not highlight turnovers first. It made me laugh though.
I mean,
well, it's the first thing you said. You smiled and went turnovers.
Yeah, it's just why would you do that?
Right, there you go, Mark. Over to you. Are you ready?
Yeah, I am. I am going to do one of these.
That was a rubbish clap first and a good clap.
Yeah. That goes out to the Sheffield Sharks for their home win.
Shark Tank, yeah.
At the Shark Tank against the Gladiators, 96-78. It was, I won't say it was just a good game. They just clearly were the stronger team. It was just simple as that. I will say I was hoping Caledonia would put up a bit more of a fight, especially after the whole their away game originally over what they've been playing like recently. I don't know if I've just got a soft spot for Caledonia with the new TV show that came out or the one that's been out.
Yeah,
recently.
I did see that.
Have you seen it?
Well, sorry, I've seen the link. I've not watched the thing yet.
Okay, well, it's very good. It's very, very good.
Mark, do you think Caledonia's challenge at the moment is to get back to winning ways? They do need to get some tartan on their kit.
I think that's essential. I think I don't see why they haven't got it.
I think once they get tartan on the kit, they're going to win the league.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, an 18-point victory at home, and you against Caledonia, they're a very, very strong team. They had a super fast start, and that was it. They never looked back. They didn't catch them. The gap just kept sort of flexing. But it was around that sort of 12, 15, 18. It just kept flexing on that.
In fairness to the Gladiators,
yep,
that Shark Tank sounds like a bit of a fortress.
Honestly, that is what I thought Caledonia had such a beautiful looking.
It was great.
And I've
seen a few games where it's not full. You think, well, one side didn't look very full.
Yeah.
I just thought, oh, okay.
That does surprise me why more people don't go to the games. I don't know if it's something in the promoting. I don't know if it's
I
because
think they need us to go there, Mark.
it's of course,
And we'll
of course.
bring our 5,000 listeners.
Yeah. Is it because they're midweek games?
Yeah, I did wonder that because some of the midweek games definitely have a lower attendance for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think the Shark Tank at the moment is coming across like a fortress.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is why I think the game on Friday is going to be really interesting because and look, Sheffield, they've now moved up in third place in the league.
Yeah.
So you know they're on a roll.
Oh, 100%. And you know that's their third league win. Caledonia picked up their third league win on Thursday when they were playing with the Patriots. But you know, if you look at that, you think, well, they're doing really well. But then flip it and say, but then the Sharks absolutely, I won't say decimate them, but they just taught them a new lesson. You think we went back and when we were originally looking and saying there was there's some clear top teams, then there's ones that are vying, and then you've got the ones who sort of make up the rest of the league, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I don't know how close it's going to be this year. I don't know enough about the league to call it, but
you got to argue over quarter of the league gone. Is the season over? Do you make them champions? They're 8-0. That's why I think the next 2 weeks is going to be absolutely integral because they've got to go to Shark Tank. You know, they're Sheffield, the on-form team. Then they're at home. Who are they home to? Don't know. They're at home to someone, and then they're away to the Eagles' Nest. Now, if they can get another 3 wins there, I'm going to go as far as say league's over. Give them the trophy now.
So, do you think Christmas time? Is that where you?
I would say by the end of October, I will call it. Unless something significant has happened, they've played a quarter of the season and not lost. And I think I don't want to say for the sake of the season, I don't like to see any team lose, but for the sake of the season, I wouldn't mind seeing teams pick up a couple of points from the Lions. So teams like the Sharks, like the Leicester Riders, can catch up with them. And just, you know, the most exciting thing that's going to draw fans into a league is this, you know, magic and bird scenario where you got two juggernauts coming head to head last game of the season.
There needs
to
be those rivalries.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to have a little bit of that, don't you?
If you've got a team running away with it, it's like, oh, okay, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But I got to say, you highlighted the Gladiators briefly when they got that 99-83 win over the Plymouth Patriots. But I want to just highlight, Mark, Clifton Moore, number 21 for the Caledonia Gladiators. That huge block he had. You know the one I'm talking? Jacob Wiley, number 3 for the Plymouth Patriots, comes in, jumps maybe halfway up the key, just to one side, to the right-hand side if you're facing the basket, and Clifton Moore comes in. Boom! Get out of my house! Get out of my house!
Yeah, that was bad, wasn't it? What was that? Have you turned into the chicken man? Chicken! You've just been powered by chicken.
But what I really liked, I loved the attitude of Clifton Moore after the block, because he was like, in his face, he was like, who gives a crap? I've got the ball. We're in the transition back up the court. And I just love that in players where there's like, do you know when a player celebrates and goes, yeah, I'm amazing, and the game's still going on?
Yeah.
It drives me nuts. So when he did that, I thought, brilliant, love that. But it was the way, and I'm trying not to be mean here, but the way Jacob Wiley stumbled through the key after getting blocked, I was man.
Bit clumsy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was just like, damn. But it was a great block, got to be mentioned. And
you have to mention that.
I stole your thunder.
No,
I just you said that game, and I thought, I remember that block.
Yeah, it was a great game. But I just, again, I'm going to say it, I've been enjoying the BBL. I've been enjoying watching these highlights, and I'm more and more liking the style of basketball, and it really is its own style of basketball. It's not just Euroball, and it's not NBA style basketball. There's something, I can't put my finger on it. Like when you just mentioned about someone jacked up like 9 threes, you'd think 27 points. Like someone, like, is that just someone doing a Steph, getting inside the logo and throwing it up? No. From the highlights that I've seen, he wasn't just just 2 steps in.
Great positioning.
Great positioning and
by
good.
Matt Morgan.
Yeah, it's.
And I love that. I love the Lions court. I love the
lovely.
court.
Yeah, it's lovely.
It's just the tone of the wood. Oh, beautiful.
Yep.
Beautiful. Had to mention that. That just popped in my head.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Right. Well, I've got another one. Did you know this year they're going to do a North and South game?
What do you mean North and South game?
North versus South. They're going to do an all-star event.
Oh, yes.
And then in March 17th next year,
Yeah.
they're doing a North versus the South. So the
brilliant.
men's North teams, Caledonia, Cheshire Phoenix, Manchester Giants, the Newcastle Eagles, and the BBL and Sheffield Sharks.
Oh, we got to go to that.
So that's the North teams. The South are Leicester Riders, London Lions, Bristol Flyers, Surrey Scorchers, and Plymouth City Patriots.
We got to go to that.
And, of course, there's a women's team as well. So you've got the Caledonia Gladiators, the Durham Palestines, Manchester Giants, the Newcastle Eagles, and the Sheffield Hatters.
And is that all being played on the same day? Like the women's game?
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
men's
yeah,
game?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so women's South team, Cardiff Met Archers.
Ooh.
Yeah. This is what I thought was interesting.
What?
Essex Rebels, Leicester Riders, London Lions, Oakland Wolves, and Nottingham Wildcats. But I love the fact that you mentioned a while back, why have we not got Welsh teams in BBL? Cardiff Met Archers, women's South team. That's really interesting. So do we, if they've got a women's team in the BBL, surely there's got to be something.
Yeah, it could
I don't know.
Could be the potential for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that would suggest they've got the venue.
Well, yeah, but they said the Stratford Arena is going to house the inaugural men's. Oh, sorry, it's the men's and the inaugural women's All-Star games. So these are
Nice.
all All-Star games.
Sorry, where's that?
Copper Box.
Mark, we got to go to that.
Yeah, that sounds like it would be
That
something
looks like one
really,
to
really
go.
fun. That sounds like it'd be really, really fun. But I just thought that was a good.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Because we're
one.
talking about rivalries, North and South.
Yeah, that is a great one. And you know what? I hope.
And then you got to come to the South to go play that.
Yeah. Well, I hope the players take their rivalries that are happening in the league into the All-Star game. That's what made NBA All-Star games great.
Yeah, as long
when
as
they
don't
took
make it.
that venom
Yes.
with them, and they were just like, "What? All right, you're on my team now. This guy just blocked me last week. I'm getting revenge here." That's what made All-Stars great. Not this, "Hey guys, we're all friends. Let's just throw up threes and let each other dunk on." It's
boring.
like
No one wants to see that. And then all you're doing is you're just basically paying to go physically see that famous player bounce a ball.
Yeah.
Boring.
And there are characters in the BBL
Yep.
who we're seeing who could create that rivalry, I think. Very much so.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right.
Over to you.
Molten, Mark.
Yes.
Molten
Lava?
Molten basketballs. They are continued. They have signed a 3-year deal with the BBL to be the official sponsor, or I don't know what you would say, the official maker of the ball for the BBL.
Do you like their balls?
I do
Now
like
who's
their
childish?
basketballs. On it, just want to highlight, it does say it's FIBA approved, so what more do you need? We can all relax with that one. I genuinely actually with the Molten balls, I genuinely like the white strip.
Yeah.
The narrow white strip that goes around it as well. It does look very nice. It's unique to me. It says, now I see that, I go BBL in my head straight away.
Yep.
I do wonder if the Molten logo itself could be bigger on the ball, similar to like the Wilson logo.
Yep.
However, it does make me think, well, Molten don't want to be, hey, it's all about us. And their logo is fairly small in comparison to other logos on ball. So maybe that's a really good thing.
I mean, I wonder, just that sounds very stupid, but where'd you go buy a Molten ball?
You go on the BBL, Mark, and you go to the shop and you look for balls.
Is that it?
And you'll see the Molten ball. Yeah, I want to say they are like £70.
Okay. Because it's just one of those things. Again, it's
Pure indoor.
it's
one
about
as well.
making it accessible, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like,
No,
you go to, if you want to pick up the old Spalding balls, or you may be able to find the Nike balls, like the lower tier ones. You could go to shops and find them, maybe like 30-40 quid. You know, that mid-range one, it's that indoor/outdoor kind of Spalding ball or something like that. Those no problem. But yeah, that's good. I like those balls a lot. I think they are very, very cool.
Yeah, you can get one that I am
Very similar
in
to
the
the
market
Baden
for a
ones, aren't
basketball
they?
at the moment.
If I remember rightly.
Yeah, ish. Yeah, but I'm in the market for a basketball. So the Molten. That's why I looked in the shop and see how much. I thought I want to say £72, something like that.
All right.
But it's just a pure indoor ball. It looked really nice. But
I found my balls in the garage the other day.
How old are they?
My balls, they're 43.
Okay. What are we talking about now?
The basketballs, I found a whole bag of. I had like 3 ones that I had from the Fury, and then I had one out, just pure outdoor one. Then I found one that I used to do the dunk, like trying to dunk on, and then I found one little random mini spare one.
What make were they?
All Spaldings,
Oh, wow.
except one was a Nike one.
Spaldings were nice.
Well, they're the. It's funny. I think it's back into Steve's when we had a chat with Steve, and he said,
Is that Steve Ware used to play for the BBL, Mark?
No, it wasn't Steve Ware. It was Steve Davison.
Oh,
Come on, I was just thinking of his name.
NBL.
He
Div 1
mentioned
player.
he mentioned about the silver logo balls, that the Spalding ones that I think he said he used to like. It was 3 of them.
Okay.
So and I pumped them up absolutely fine.
Are you saying you'd rather have a Spalding than a Molten?
Do you know what? No, because the grip, when you compare it to the games that just down.
After 25 years, it's not going to be overly grippy.
Yeah, obviously not. But the grip and the leather, you just go, I don't like that feel anymore.
But the Molten ones, I do like the indoor ones. They're very nice. And I got to give a shout out to the Wilson balls as well that are used in the NBL. I really like that light. They've got a light orange version, pure orange version, let's say. And then they've got like a dark brown with a black line, if that makes sense. You've got the 8 segments, if you know what I mean. Yeah. One's black, one's dark orange or brown, whatever it is. And then, that is also a very, very nice. And that's the official ball for the for Basketball England. Also approved by FIBA, so you can relax on that one.
Rest easy.
What does make me laugh about the
Bless
Wilson
you,
balls, because again, I want to say they're more, maybe they're more expensive. Maybe they're £80 for the orange one. I can't remember, but it does say on it that it is valid through 2023.
Oh my God. Why?
I don't know. It says valid through 2023.
I guess they're trying to do a whole thing of, if you make it this season, that's that one, and then next season they'll make a slight change and they'll say, now we'll do the stitching using the blood from a...
Well, I did wonder if
whatever.
like the BBL and NBL should all come together, but it looked like the BBL's got a separate thing with Molten, and the NBL and Basketball England are going with the Wilsons.
I think that is the good thing and the bad thing with the BBL is that it is good and it's going to promote the game of British basketball. There's no question of that, and I can, in the grand scheme of things, I think they're doing a great job. Obviously, things to improve, etc., but I would say it's very separated from that the National League where people are playing. So you've got one more, haven't you?
How many have you got?
I've got 2, but they're very quick.
Mark, I want to talk about the Manchester Giants.
Yep.
Claimed a huge win against the Leicester Riders, 94-84.
Wow.
And I do like Caleb Asbury.
Yeah.
You've
got a soft spot for the Giants.
He's
really
a very
getting on
cool
board
thing.
with them.
He's very cool. I also got to say Jamal Anderson continues to be strong for the Giants. He's the guy who hit, I don't know if you saw, yes, it was against Phoenix.
Yep.
Cheshire Phoenix. He hit that like Hail Mary 3, Steph Curry 3-point shot. That was him, Jamal Anderson. Jalen Harris also had a great game with 20 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 steal. But I got to highlight the rebounding ability of the Giants in this game as well. In particular, Evan Walsh, who had 8 rebounds, as well as his 10.6 assists and 1 steal.
Amazing.
But, also there's another guy for the Giants I do like. He's number 93. He's called Nick Lewis. got to highlight his defensive presence. And there was one huge, I tend to say block. For him, I'm going to say huge rejection. Massive
really?
rejection. He came from behind. Guy went right up, open layup, boom, get this out of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely smashed it.
Denied.
So, yeah, huge win for the Giants against the Riders. And it looked, again, like a fantastic team performance.
Fantastic. Well, that brings me over to my last 2 points. First one, the standings of the league as it stands today. So we'll go in reverse order, I think. So in number 10, Surrey Scorchers. They've played 5 games.
I'm not going to do that for every time, though.
They've played 5 games and they've lost 5 games. But they've only played 5 games. 9, Plymouth Patriots. 7 games played, 1 win, 6 losses. But I don't think their game style has necessarily reflected that. And I think that's a common theme going through, because in 8th position at the moment, Newcastle Eagles.
Shock.
6 played, 2 wins, 4 losses.
And you got to think that Pat Wright is going to have an effect on those home games
100%.
going into later
7th
games.
position, Manchester Giants. 6 games, 2 wins, 4 losses. Wow, you did that for Manchester. There's clearly something there for Manchester for you, isn't there?
I like all teams equally at the moment.
6th, Caledonia Gladiators. They've only played 5 games, but they've won 3 and lost 2. So that they're in a really strong position, man, because they've only played the 5 games. Cheshire Phoenix in 5th. I think it looks like, 5th, 4th, and 3rd. It goes Cheshire, Bristol, and Sheffield Sharks. They've all played 7 games. They've all won 4 and lost 3. And they're in 5th, 4th, and 3rd. Then 2nd, Leicester Riders. So that's pretty good. 6 games played. 4 wins and 2 losses. And number 1 with 8 games played and no losses, London Lions.
What's going on with the clapping? It's not lasting as long. That's
something about the clap. I don't know.
Oh, I know what it is, because it's just carrying on.
Yeah, just carrying on. But
You've got to go all the way to the end.
You know, fair play to London Lions. If you're doing 8-0 and you're romping away with it, that's pretty awesome.
But I will say they are winning games like they won on. What was it? When did they play? Was it Monday, Sunday, whenever it was? They only beat the Eagles by 5 points.
Yeah, 5 points.
They only beat they didn't beat the Scorchers by much.
Yeah, it was literally 2 days ago, that game.
I want to say there were 3 games.
109, 104.
Yeah, I want to say there were 3 games in a row, and the points deficit between all of them was an extra 11 points, which is nothing.
No, it's not. And all of these games, I would say, go watch them. Even if you just go watch a highlight, you watch it and think, that's worth a watch.
Yeah.
Because it is really exciting basketball. So, final point to wrap up, which is my AN1. I'm going to give it up to the Caledonia Gladiators ladies team.
Wow.
Because they're playing SL Benfica right this second.
Oh, what's the result, Mark? What's the box?
So they've just gone into Q3 now.
Yeah.
It's 34 to Caledonia, 33 to SL Benfica.
And how do you think it's going to finish, Mark?
I'd like to think Caledonia can hold on to that lead.
Well, there you go. If you are on any betting apps, Mark gives you his.
I'm putting it out there for Caledonia because they look like a strong team. And the fact they're in EuroCup, that's really, really good to see. Again, we're seeing British teams. Caledonia may argue that I'm calling them British teams or they're Scottish team, but
they're still British.
They're still,
it's not English, it's British, isn't it? Great Britain.
Oh, let's not go there. But regardless, it's a team from the UK, and that's awesome to see. So if they can beat Benfica and go further forward in the EuroCup, that'd be awesome.
I hope they take bagpipes on their away trips.
Maybe.
And in the changing room, it's like...
Wow. You've done bagpipes the biggest disservice ever.
But you know what I mean? They should come out to the pipers.
Yeah, they should. And they should have that tartan and they should embrace it a bit.
Yeah,
but,
celebrate it.
You know, that's our roundup for this week. And I've really enjoyed it. And it's going to be,
Mark.
It's going to be, you said it yourself, it's going to be a big week this week. Is it this week and next week? They're 2 big weeks, certainly for London Lions.
Yeah, I think so.
But I would say, if you haven't tuned in already, go look on the website because it tells you where to go on YouTube or for Sky. Go have a look at the games. But the socials are really good for BBL as well. This has been enough for me. I'm Mark. He's Paul. Thank you so much for listening as always. If you haven't listened to all the other episodes, go back and have a listen. Share, like, tell everyone.
Number 11!
Number 11. And of course, our last words from Paul.
If you are on a sports hall, rip up the badminton lines. Rip them up.
Lovely. Have a good one.
Wow, you did that quick.